Well, hello everyone, and welcome to this presentation about a brand new video production system that's going to be offered from NewTek. It's called the TriCaster TC1. Now, joining me for this presentation today is Dave Page, our Director of Professional Services and Operations. How are you doing today, Dave?
Good. How are you, Don?
I'm great. Well, I am super excited about this TriCaster TC1. It really changes the way live production is done. Why don't we go ahead and talk a little bit about the hardware that we see right here in front of us.
Okay, so the new TC1 is a new, completely redesigned 2RU chassis with a new 2-stripe control panel. This is a full 16 input switcher.
Wow.
And you can see all of our inputs on the interface. And there are 4 inputs for baseband video on the back, 4 BNC connectors that now support 3G 1080 60p.
So full HD, and there are 4 of those baseband inputs on the back of the TC1. So
That's
you can
correct.
hook, say, 4 SDI connectors into the back of it,
That's
get
correct.
4 live cameras.
And use all of the resolutions you've used before with our TriCaster products, and now also 3G 1080 60p resolution. And in addition to that, we now support 4K UHD on the TriCaster TC1.
And that is something that people have been asking for a while.
That's
and
right.
I want people to realize that we have 4 baseband inputs on the back of this, but we can get our inputs directly off of the network from our IP ecosystem that's created. And that means that each one of these 16 inputs could be any of those resolutions that we're talking about.
Right, so using our NDI protocol, which is resolution independent, it means that this TriCaster, all 16 inputs, can support any resolution that's available in our product line.
And one of the things that I love about TC1 is it's a native IP workflow, meaning we're not converting the video up and down as we work with it. We're working with native IP video from inception to production on the outside, and we never have to translate it or transcode it in between. So we're really the only live production system right now out there doing this.
That's right. We are a full software-driven, IP-based switcher. We do not convert the video back and forth on the way in or the way out. It is processed all with our software, and it stays as native IP video.
Yes, Dave, this is a quite powerful system, and you know, the way that people are consuming and watching live video production is changing quite rapidly today.
That's right.
And to talk to us about how this technology can help you and your productions address these new audiences, we're going to go over to Mr. Will Waters.
Thank you, Don. Joining me here today is NewTek's President and CTO, Dr. Andrew Cross. Andrew, thanks for being here.
It's my pleasure.
So we have a great new announcement today with a new product, but let's talk about the industry a little bit first. Producers today have a lot of challenges in that there's a lot of screens that they have to fill. There's all different types of ways they need to get to their viewing audience. And there may be new production needs as far as more inputs and more types of source content coming into their production. What is a video producer to do?
So that's a great question, and I think that in many ways that frames some of the thinking that has always been behind the TriCaster, and is probably more important today than it ever has been at any time. I mean, our goal has always been to allow a single producer or a very small group of people to produce a show that looks like it's the biggest and most expensive show ever produced, and to make that easy and to make that fun. But it's become very important that people are no longer delivering a show just to take to one place and to have for one use. It is in fact almost always the case now that a show is going for secondary viewing on the web, or might even be for primary viewing on the web. It's seen on different devices. We're not just talking about seeing it on a 16:9 screen anymore. You have cell phones that might even be one-to-one if you're on Facebook Live. And so for producers, being able to produce content that simultaneously can be used for all of these different platforms is truly critical. In fact, there is no producer today who is not doing that. And yet the tools in many ways for doing that have really remained remarkably, unsophisticated. And so one of our goals with TriCaster and with TC1 has really been to change that and make it so that this is a product that allows you to produce and to go to all of the outlets that you need and to produce a show that works on all of them simultaneously. And that's been a real challenge, but that is where video production is today.
Well, that's a really important concept because, like you said, there are all these different avenues that you have to think about when you have your content or your story to get out to your viewing audience. So TriCaster TC1, it represents a brand new platform, right? I mean, this is a new physical product, right?
That is correct. So TC1 is a product that we've actually been laying the groundwork for years and years. So you can actually look back and see, you know, when we launched NDI 2 years ago, it's very clear that we saw that the future was going to be IP based. And we've been, you know, been building TC1, and this really represents in many ways the kind of the culmination of years and years of development. And this is a totally new platform. This is a totally new version of TC, and you know, it is incredibly exciting.
That's fantastic. So, you know, it's not just outputs, but inputs, right? We have a number of inputs that can come into the TriCaster TC1 and 4K. We hear a lot about 4K. Can you tell me a little bit more about what you see 4K being with TriCaster and TC1?
Yeah, so you mentioned two very important things there. The first was input count, and the second was 4K. So first of all, let me just address input count. I mean, I think that one of the big shifts in the market is that cameras are becoming more and more affordable. I mean, that has changed dramatically in the last 5 years, and the trend, you know, is absolutely continuing. I mean, we're almost at the point where everybody's cell phone can be used as a camera, and this is something that is going to become more and more, you know, more and more prevalent in the industry, is that we're going to have access to lots and lots of cameras. It is much more the case that somebody producing a show should have easy access to as many cameras as they need. It should be the case that if you want to get a new view of your game or a new view of your show, that you should be able to just put a camera there and get it. And so we have spent a lot of time working on how to make this easy, and obviously the move to IP is a huge part of that. It is now increasingly the case that you can just plug a camera onto your network and it's going to work. So combining that and making it so that a product like the TriCaster can simultaneously access 16 cameras is very important. This is where the market is going, and this is something, in many ways, this is a groundbreaking change, because previously, as I said, we've always been limited. Computer-based approaches, small number of inputs, higher end of the market, yes, that's what you need to get lots of inputs, and we are fundamentally changing that. Now, taking that one step further with the second point that you brought up, which is 4K, and in particular P60. And so first of all, I should explain why we waited. I mean, we could have done 4K some time ago, but we felt that it was that instead of just having some kind of technology demo, we really needed to do 4K right. So for us as an integrated production system, this doesn't mean just being able to pass 4K video through and do some basic effects on it. We make a system that can record video, that can stream video, that can do virtual sets, that has pretty much unlimited DVE capabilities. And we needed to wait until we could do all of those things in 4K. Now, ironically, it seems that in many ways, a lot of the market hasn't got there yet. So this is very exciting for us. We've increased the input counts, and we've gone full 4K with everything we can do, not just little bits of it. I mean, we have media playback and graphics, and everything else we can do in 4K. Now, the P60 is also very, very important. And in fact, we did not want to go to 4K until we could do P60. And the reason for this is that when you think about what is going on out in the world, one of the largest growth segments of video is sports. And for sports, you need P60. P30 looks like a slideshow. P60 is what you need, because when there is action, you notice this difference. And so we thought it was truly crucial for anybody who's going to invest in one of our products to be able to get full P60, which is why, you know, we're particularly excited that not only have we increased input count, we've increased the resolution, but we've even gone full P60, which is really a huge challenge, and in many ways a great achievement that I'm personally very proud that we've managed to pull off.
That's fantastic. So we have more inputs that can come in. We have the ability to do that all the way up to 4K. Of course, that doesn't mean that if a producer is working in other formats, say 3G, I mean, that does work on the TriCaster TC1, right?
Absolutely,
yeah.
And this is one of the big things is actually, you know, TriCasters really don't care about formats. Mm-hmm. I mean, you can have an SD camera hooked up and a 4K camera hooked up. Every input has scaling. Pretty much all the, you know, in terms of DVE scaling, 3D capabilities, all of this stuff, it exists across every input. So you can mix between any set of formats, you can produce into any destination. I mean, largely speaking, we can handle every resolution and we can do it all at once.
Well, from what I'm hearing, then would it be fair to say that, you know, really the technology can disappear and the story can really be brought forward?
Well, absolutely. I mean, that's the goal. Mm-hmm. Now, on top of that, you know, I think that people, you know, one of the big things is one of the things that I hear talking to producers a lot is that, you know, they don't know exactly where the industry is going either. And I think that, with 4K P60, 16 inputs and IP, you can feel pretty confident that no matter what happens, whether it's whatever the next formats and the next cameras are, that you're ready to, TriCaster is basically future-proof in that way. This is one of the big benefits of having been one of the companies that have really pushed for IP. IP doesn't know anything about resolution, doesn't know anything about connectors or anything like that. So one of the great benefits of TC1 is that in many ways you're ready for whatever happens next on top of the things it already does, and that's a huge advantage, of course.
Well, the move to IP, as you said, is really allowing for all of this new way to think about designing video workflows and putting that together, but it doesn't mean that the producer has to completely relearn everything about how to produce video. I mean, TriCaster has been a product that a traditional video producer can sit down and know where things are so that they can get their video content put together.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, I think that, that there are reasons why producers tend to work one way, and it's got nothing to do with the formats they're using or whether they're IP or whether, they have learned the methods of producing shows because that has been what the industry has learned is the best way to make a great looking show over a period of 50 years. And we should absolutely embrace those. So as we adopt new technologies, we've absolutely got to make sure that our products are useful by producers. And so we work closely. I mean, I have a lot of personal friends who are producers. Everybody here at NewTek does. And so we work with them very closely to make sure that this is a product that is designed for producers and largely by producers so that they know, so it feels right. So that we aren't just reinventing things because, hey, with IP you can do certain new things. You've got to make sure that those new capabilities that you bring through new technology are ones that are truly useful to producers, because if they're not, it's just technology for the sake of technology. And so this is something that we focus very, very heavily on, and making it truly useful for producers for what they want to do is absolutely crucial.
Yeah, well, one of the workflows that I know a lot of producers have, then depending on their session or their show format, is bringing in remote guests. And there's a workflow there, as you're talking about. There's ways that we have learned over the years to do that. But that is one area where there are a lot of headaches. I mean, it's trying to connect things in, have a real-time contributing the remote guests. Now, TriCaster TC1 has a multi-channel Skype TX integrated directly in it. Why did we do that?
Well, first of all, we're super proud to port this into TC1. This has been through a multi-year collaboration with Microsoft to make this happen, and being able to bring remote guests in directly into this system is, of course, a great capability. In fact, if you go back 10 years and think how you brought remote guests in, oh my gosh, it was complicated. I mean, you're needing to buy satellite time or run dedicated fiber links or something that sounds very, very expensive. Now, Skype is in many ways the absolutely perfect way to do this, because Skype exists on every platform. So having basically the ability for anybody out there to Skype into your show is truly a staggering capability. This breaks down the wall between you and your guests, and it allows you very easily as a producer to have people to call into your show. Now, we actually went with full multi-channel Skype functionality, so you can be talking to one person while you queue up the next. I mean, the possibilities are endless, and I think that this really makes it so that a producer, they just don't need to think about this. This used to be something where, quite honestly, you had to design your show format around either your need to bring people in, which mean expensive, or not have them, which means that you're not engaging your audience. And really at the end of the day, engaging your audience is what you want, because that is how you make sure that people continue to come and watch your show. So this ability to bring Skype clients in and to make it this easy, to make it part of an integrated system with everything else we're doing at the same time, is truly amazing, and really something that is definitely going to change the formats of shows. So this is very, very exciting. I mean, I think this is going to change things for a lot of people.
That's fantastic. It seems like there's a lot of new possibilities and really ways that producers can add to their productions without having to really be bound up by the technology or the circuitry that they may have in the rack.
Yep.
That's fantastic. Now, as we're talking about the delivery aspect again, though, there's an extra streaming. TriCaster's been known for streaming since its inception. So with TriCaster TC1, we have additional streaming capacity.
We do. So first of all, I should say that TC1 can stream in full 4K P60. This should not be underestimated. This is a difficult thing to do. And but you know, as I said, we needed to make sure that we really got to that level, so that somebody buying a TC1 can do a full 4K P60 delivery online if they want to, which is, you know, an amazing achievement in many ways. Because right now the big problem with 4K is delivery. So this solves the delivery problem, and that is amazing. We've got, you know, our producers, their viewers have 4K TVs, but there's no way to get them the content. And so using streaming, they actually can get the content out there, and that is an important breakthrough here. So in terms of streaming though, we took it beyond this. We obviously support full 4K P60, but we can actually stream to any number of websites, and we can do two completely independent channels. So of those channels, I should say, you can stream to both Facebook Live, you can stream to YouTube, you can stream to Periscope, you can stream to any number at once, but then you can stream two entirely different versions of the show to different outlets. And so this is getting into this question we started with, which is people are needing to deliver content to more places. And this is something that we've really embraced with TC1, and being able to deliver to all of those places at once, multiple streams, multiple resolutions, you know, up to 4K P60, is truly, you know, groundbreaking. And then on top of that, we obviously can publish VOD command on the fly as well. So you can be producing your show, you can be streaming it live, you can be taking it to your local projector and then your local broadcast station, all of those things. But at the same time, you can be slicing your show into pieces so that you can deliver short segments of it for use on Facebook Live, so you can engage on Facebook, so you can engage your fans, you can be putting it on YouTube. These are how people are delivering shows today, and TC1 is fully capable and designed to do those exact things.
That's fantastic. So really, TriCaster TC1, it's for the modern producer. It's a complete system that allows them to bring all their inputs, allows them to manipulate or to produce in the way that they need to produce, and then of course get it out to the audience members or the audience viewers that they're trying to reach.
So, you know, it used to be the case that even a traditional broadcaster, they only needed to worry about the broadcaster, but there is not a single show today that isn't also going live to Facebook or live to all sorts of outlets. And basically, if you're a producer, even if you're a TV station today, if you don't have a product that can deliver to those locations, you're really not going where your audience is going, which is absolutely essential.
Wow, that's a lot to think about. And TriCaster TC1, you know, it brings about a whole new reality that is for that modern producer. So they can get that everything they need to put together, and then hopefully have the technology or their story be dependent on the technology.
That's exactly right. That's exactly right.
Fantastic. So let's go ahead and head back over to Don Balance so we can take a closer look at the TriCaster TC1.
Thanks, Will. That was a lot of great information. Now let's take a look at some of the new features available in this live production system. I know that TriCaster TC1 features a variety of media servers, Dave.
Right, and those media servers include 2 built-in full-motion DDRs for playing back video, 2 graphics players, a sound player, and 15 media buffers, including 10 animated buffers. And one of the most powerful features that people need to know about these buffers is that, the buffers and the media servers, is that they all feature autoplay. And autoplay means that anytime you select that source on program, it will automatically play. You don't need to have an operator to trigger that media server to play. It will play automatically. It's a fantastic feature that, as far as I know, no other live production system has.
Now, in addition to all of the sources that we've discussed so far, this live production system also features 4 mix effects buses.
That's right, Don, and each mix effects bus supports up to 4 layers of video sources and 4 keyers, allowing you to have a separate mix on each one or an effect with 0 latency reentry.
Now, when we're talking about effects, we could be talking about the virtual sets that come with TriCaster TC1. And another great benefit is that each one of the MEs also has a full motion composition engine that will allow you to animate those layers and those keyers.
And you know, another new feature only available on the new TriCaster TC1 is 2 channels of integrated Skype TX.
And what that will allow you to do is bring in 2 remote guests from anywhere in the world where you can come in and you can use Skype. You know, there's about 300 million monthly Skype users, and now any one of them from their phone, from their desktop, can become part of your show, greatly reducing the amount of time and cost of bringing someone onto your show. It really allows you to expand the capabilities of what you can do and have a much bigger show.
Right, exactly. And you know, speaking of the internet, Don, another new feature that we should talk about is the fact that the TriCaster TC1 also has 2 streaming encoders supporting multiple resolutions and can support streaming to multiple destinations.
You know, people are watching their video differently today than
That's
they
right.
used to back in the day. And it's really important to be able to not only produce your show and broadcast it, but to be able to get it to different devices.
Right.
And this means different formats and resolutions. And being able to do that all from one live production system is very powerful.
That's right. And with all these features to allow you to do these live productions, one of the other important features that you're going to need is the ability to record and archive that show. TriCaster TC1 supports recording 6 channels of high quality media.
You know, that's really important. It's important to be able to capture not only the show itself, the output, but also the cameras so that you can do post-production editing. But, you know, when you're capturing multiple channels at the same time, it really opens you up to new features that are also available in TriCaster TC1. Things like slow motion, things like being able to take any clip that's currently being recorded and publish it to Facebook or YouTube or other social media sites. So the ability of having this built right in not only enhances your capabilities in the production, but also reduces the amount of equipment you need because there's no need for external recording devices.
Exactly. So that is a lot of power in a single 2RU production system. And we haven't even talked about some of the features that are available in all of our systems, which are fully customizable multi-viewers, multiple multi-viewers. Our live mat key are available on every source. Automatic format conversion. And probably one of the most powerful is our fully customizable automation system.
Well, as you can see, TriCaster TC1 is the most complete, software-driven, live production, content creation, and media publishing platform available. If you'd like more information on NewTek's TriCaster TC1, you can get all of the information that you need from the NewTek website. So on behalf of Dr. Andrew Cross, Will Waters, Dave Page, myself, and everyone here at NewTek, I want to thank you for watching.